every last drop, everything we have, we've taken. Waste. Polluted everything around us. Just wipe the whole slate clean. You know what it's like. With your backs against the wall. Fight or flight. Our end game is here, and you know what I say? Let's just wipe them all out. Wipe the whole slate clean. The old ones would be proud. She only had one option left. Her last chance.
Alright, everybody, that was Voidsman from the album Antarctica. That song was called Tempest. Check them out on Bandcamp. They just dropped that album yesterday. Okay, so I was listening to After School. He's got a really good channel. He was talking about the tipping point, and it inspired me to get on here and talk about the idea that I had. You know, he was talking about the cave, Plato's cave, and everybody, you know, what if we all just went past the scary shadows and crawled up out of the cave into the light and started the real work, started doing the things that are real, you know, start dealing with the things that are real. How how would we be able to not fall back into the cave again? How do we cover that up? What's the key to that? But I was thinking, you know, about all these negative movies like the zombies, Mad Max, the apocalypse, alien invasions. You know, there's never any movies about what if something good happened. You know, that everybody just quit taking all this shit and started talking to one another in a realistic way instead of a fake um, just a fake way, you know, like wearing masks, not being real with people. Now people are being real, you know, they're getting abused at work. All these restaurant workers and retail workers and all kinds of people in general are being treated like shit. And it's becoming in fashion to tell people to fuck off. And I'm glad. And people are going off and blazing their own trails. And getting together in their own communities nearby. I just don't think anybody expected it to turn out so well. There's just all I have is good news. There's so many people everywhere, bad news everywhere. But there's really just such good news everywhere. There was a parade in my town just now. They had Santa Claus and a snowman and a reindeer. They just drove by and they were just honking, waving at everybody, giving out candy. I haven't seen that happen around here, you know? This getting locked down and being told what to do, it's really made everybody take stock of things, and they're wondering how solid those scary looking shadows on the wall are, you know? And people are walking past it. And the more things get better, the more the television tells you that it's a disaster. The more white and black people start to get along and see eye to eye on things, the more the news tells us that we hate each other. You know, it's the more we invent things, the more we're told how many problems we have, you know, that we can't solve. You know, there's all kinds of things that we can solve right now. What the problem is all the bureaucracy and, you know, stuff that's not really there for safety. It's I don't know what it's there for. I think these things in the beginning had good intention, but you know, like a cancer, it can make too many cells of one thing and create an imbalance to where nothing can function. You know, the government body can't function. Things don't happen anymore. You know, all of our buildings are falling apart, and it's too expensive for us to build new ones. But we have this 3D printing technology, and we could figure that out. We could just be printing new buildings. We could be doing a lot of things. We could have been doing a lot of things for, you know, 30 years, but something weird. You know what I always thought was weird and, you know, about Star Wars is, you know, for 10,000 years those people still just have a hyperdrive. You know what I mean? Like, and it's because they're, you know, I guess they're government controlled all the technology and stuff like that. Maybe because, you know, I don't know, people would make Death Stars. Is that what the worry is? You know, people will have, if everybody has a 3D printer, you know, they could make something crazy. I don't know. Is that I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. Is there a reason the Vatican doesn't want the world to know what's in their library? Why don't they tell us what's in Area 51? Where's Atlantis? These things. Would it drive us all nuts? To know that we have done great things and then fallen on our ass and then done great things and reached the stars and then fallen on our face over and over and over and over again. And maybe it's happened so many times that the last place that did great things is just eroded by the weather and other people built on top of it. That's kind of the scary thing looking back at the past for me, is it's endless. I don't know how far it goes back. Just as scary as the future, I don't know how far it goes forward. But from what I can see looking back at the past, the only thing that we can do as humans, really. But even that's obscure, you know? It's just bullshit. Because you try to look back at the past and access, religions like Jonathan Pageau talks about. You can't access these ancient religions. People say they can. Like if you, you know, say you worship Odin or something and you're not killing people, then how can you be worshiping Odin that he was talking about? And spicy comments coming from that surge of Norse mythology being adopted in a lot of people's lives in Western culture. I think that's because there's a desperation for masculinity, some sort of mapping for masculinity. And a lot of people, their go-to is like, well, I'll go to my very roots of my belief. But Jonathan has a point, like what do we know about him? So I would say, so here's my point of view. I would say, he Jonathan's right about that, but these people are making a new thing, where they don't have to kill people. And I think that's good and should be encouraged, and not say that if you're not dumping a bucket of blood on your head every day, then you're not really down with Freya. I just don't think that's maybe we could do some other things, just like in the Bible there's the New Testament. Old Testament God seemed a little cranky, but then he changed his tune. So when he had a son. So maybe we need to let people build these new religions, with what we do know. I mean, and how's that any different than the past? And I guess I'm coming at that from a we're creating it point of view, instead of it, the event happening. But I'm just, for the sake of argument, with myself, I'm going to entertain this idea. I think it's happening with Christianity, whether or not the Orthodox likes it, whether or not the Catholics like it, whether or not the Protestants like it. There's a new Christianity being formed with Carl Jung and Jordan Peterson stuff, whether you like it or not. Um, and everybody's just going and building their own gods, right? And they're going to compete. So we're going to see what they produce. I mean, I think it's interesting. I think this is very interesting. I don't think this has ever happened. The internet has enabled this to happen. This everybody out into the light doing their own thing that they think reality needs to be focused on. Tribes are forming. And I hope we can still all work together in some way, but give each other distance, be neighbors. But we're gonna see what's what. We're gonna see what stands. I think we need to let everybody talk and not argue and debate. I'm sick of that type of shit. I'm interested in talking to people. I'm interested in talking and seeing what we can do together instead of instead of acting like we all live in the same fucking living room and we got to act like where the coffee table is and where the TV's at and where the lamp goes. Let's just say, get out of my fucking area. I'm going to get out of your fucking area. We're not going to be roommates anymore. And you go do whatever you want. I go do whatever I want. And let's just talk over the phone far away about what we think and believe with no pressure. Because that's kind of I think the point of the debate is the core of it is that it's like, well, we're all stuck in the same living room. How are we supposed to live? We really don't have to do that. We really don't have to participate with this thing. And I don't think it's going to get so bad that people don't go into groups like the Warhammer groups. You have this people that love Star Wars, whatever. These groups of people, and then you have the online philosopher people, the people that follow Jay Dyer, the people that follow Jordan Peterson, people that follow Ben Shapiro, people that follow Steven Crowder, the people that follow Jonathan Pageau, people that follow Sam Harris. These people is what I'm talking. These are all people that we're religious creatures, and these are all different religious figures. Sorry. It's just what it is. People are following them. There's a following. They have a flock. Okay? Make no mistake. And it's weird. That's what humans do. I think people follow a lot of different people. And kind of cherry pick. I think that's what most people do. So you're going to have the Norse people, the Orthodox people, the Protestant people, the Peterson people. And then you're going to have the people cherry picking from all these different people fighting with each other. It's just going to be interesting. I wonder what we're gonna produce out of this. Everybody's just kind of going off to their own races. And I don't mean, color. I mean like racetracks, like paths. They're just going maybe that too. I don't know. People are just doing it. It really is like the great scattering in Dune. People have been oppressed and oppressed. Lockdown, lockdown, lockdown. Vaccine, jab, jab, jab. Uh, Q-tip up your nose, jab, jab in your brain, up your nose, up your nose. People are sick of it now, and they're scattering. They're like, I'm going to get the hell out of here and do what I dream. I'm not going to be afraid to do what I dream. They're calling it the Great Resignation, though. I think that's the term that's caught on. But this has been foreseen. Maybe we have advanced far enough, hopefully, in society to where, and technologically, that we can have breakaway civilizations and trade with one another. That's what I'm seeing happening. Look at Etsy. That's perfect. Perfect. Well, I'm going to go watch the new Matrix and see if it's hot garbage or not. And I'll let y'all know. I know it's supposed to be funnier. And it's, post-op. They're both, not dudes now. The Wachowski brothers. So I don't know what to expect. I don't know what to think. The Matrix has just really gripped culture. The red pill, blue pill. Now you got the white pill, black pill. You got all these pills now. This terminology, and it's borrowed, stole a lot of it from Alice in Wonderland, of course. Eat me, drink me, make you big, make you small, changes your mind, your mental state. Very psychedelic in a lot of ways. In preparation for the Matrix, I rewatched Alice in Wonderland with my girlfriend, and it was really good, really deep. Go watch Alice in Wonderland, because that's where it came from. Lewis Carroll. What was that guy on about? I don't know. He had something figured out, and he wrote about a little girl. I just it's kind of how do you? I don't want to get into that. 19th century writers. Am I right? Okay, well, I just want to talk about something good. What if everybody crawled out of the cave, come out in the light, started thinking for themselves and doing their own thing, self-individuating, and trading these thoughts with one another and working on some real problems? What would that look like? What are some projects that you all know about that people are doing this stuff? One I know is the Open Ecology Project. Definitely check that out. This guy is making like Minecraft tractors, Lego tractors. He has Lego pieces. They come off and go on. He has a power cube engine. You can take this power cube and put it into different devices and power them and run them. So you can have one engine and swap it. Open Ecology Project. Or Open Source Ecology. Let me look that up real quick. Yeah, he's in developing open source industrial machines, open source ecology. Really cool. He's still doing stuff. He's doing summer builds. In 2021 he just did a summer build of some tractors. Check that guy out. But that's the type of stuff I'm talking about. Getting past the shadows, seeing what we can really do with our ingenuity, our creativity, what we can do for the cheapest amount of money with the strongest materials, and swap engines into tractors, into a tiller, and get some actual work done instead of, John Deere making you pay $1 million to fix a tractor and having to get it hauled off and they can't fix it yourself. Do it yourself stuff is the future. DIY, man. Okay, well, that's about all I've got to say. I'm going to go figure this out about the Matrix. I don't know. I was mystified by that movie when I was a kid, and I'm gonna see what's what. Anyway, y'all have a good night. Merry Christmas.